Hey, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to show something to you guys that I've been working with. I've been working with Makerlab a lot. I really like their light boxes. It's two things you have to print. You have to have a idea for a piece to put in, or a picture to put into the light box. And the other thing is to make yourself something that you can hang on. I know this is a wonky looking back, but I kind of like the different texture, but it comes from having um, stick glue on the build plate. Once it builds up, it does help everything stick, but it also puts a layer, wonky texture on the back. So I've got this. I'm going to show you how to put all these together. So these are just light strips from 5 and below, so you can do this relatively cheaply once you've bought yourself a 3D printer. It doesn't always take a lot to print things or do a cool project. I just wanted to show you how to do this pretty relatively cheap. So I will say this is the end that you want. This is what's going to go into your USB, just like that, or like that. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to clean up our space just a little bit. So you want to start towards the bottom where you're going to have your hole to plug the thing in. I like doing this kind of a thing, just a quick triangle. You fold it in on itself just like that, and now you can kind of line up where it's going to be relative to the hole that you've made. So it's pretty dead on right there. As you can see, I've lined it up on either side, and then I've got the hole where I want it to be. So that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to move it over just a hair. You want to come off of the edge just a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. Let me give you a little bit more light. So do you see how I came off the edge a little bit? It's because this has an edge that you want to allow space for. And I would even say I need to go back even just a hair more. Always start right there. All right. And then the whole thing is just a like very calming adventure of wrapping this. Hopefully calming. Try to keep your edge in mind for the first roll here. And I'll show you how we will terminate once we get to the end. We're gonna try, so you can, this is, if you can tell, the lights are a little bit spaced apart. You can get more expensive LEDs that will light this box up very well, but you're gonna pay money for it. So there'll be more LEDs, but these light up pretty well. So when we get here, we're going to just come underneath, and actually that'll help keep our triangle in line, keep our plug in line. So we just went right underneath. Excuse me, I've got to sneeze. Excuse me. So what I'm trying to avoid is getting those LEDs stuck in the corner because the LEDs don't like to bend, but the ribbon cable that they're attached to is okay to. If you get into a corner like I just did there, it's okay to leave a little bit of a gap. It'll hold it there because the rest of it's sticky, so it'll hold from either side and it'll stay in place. The whole point is this is just to make sure that this thing stays stuck. The LEDs don't need to be in line. It's okay if they're a little bit off. Thankfully, my OCD brain will allow that to be the case. We probably got one more wrap, and then I'll show you how we finish it off. It's okay if it overlaps just a little bit. There's no harm in that. But try to make sure that the LED part of it right here is not covered up. It's okay to cover the rest. Here's our fourth and final wrap here. Well, looks like we're good. I don't think we're going to have to cut it, but if you were to have to cut it, I will show you how to do that. I'm going to position this off just a little bit so there's still, I'm not covering the LED bit on that. What I do like is it does come with a set of plugs right here, so you could extend this out if you bought multiple. So if you do want to cut it, you'll notice there's these little lines here, copper lines. You'll cut right through the center of that, and then that won't be an issue. If you try to cut anywhere else, you may or may not hit something important. But the rule of thumb is where your copper is exposed is where you want to cut. So this came out very nice. I'm going to clean up here. We're going to put our box on. Yeah, we got right there, didn't we? Look at that. Okay, let's bring our USB back. Wherever I put that. Oh, right in front of me. So we are going to line those holes up right there. You know what? Let's open this back up. So in Orca, maybe I'll make a video on how to do these one day. But in Orca, you have the ability to create a negative. These things just like to be stubborn. It's possible to have it upside down. Oh, that went in, but let's check it just to be sure. I have portable battery pack. Get our, yeah, I'm gonna say that's upside down. It will not light up if you put it in incorrectly. Also won't damage it, just will not light up if you do not put it in correctly. Well, it's very possible that I got a faulty set. They were $5, which is the risk that you take with buying something a little bit cheaper, unfortunately. I do have another remote to try. So maybe it could be the remote that's the issue. So let's flip her around and try again. Does not seem to be the case. So that brings us to a smart thing to do before doing all the work that we just did. Check your strip first to make sure that everything turns on, because if it doesn't, then so I do know that this one, at least this portion of it, will turn on. So we'll try this one. Well, looks like we got a faulty strip on that one, which stinks because I do have one more to give a whirl. First, we'll open this guy up and test it. Could be also that the plug that I'm using is, I'm pretty sure it's 5 volt. Nope, I'm gonna say no. All right, let's give this set a try. Yes, look at that. So that one's good. So let's remove this guy. We do the exact same process. It would stink as if I undo all this and then it just starts working. Isn't that always the case? The way things go. But that's all right. Okay. So we do know this one works. We're going to do the exact same thing we did before. We will start by making our little triangle so that it sits just like that. We're going to offset it. Yep, that looks good. Yep, we're going to start right there. So lucky for you, you get to see me do this twice. Again, I'm making sure I smooth this down, take a couple passes at it. These 3M sticky work really well, but only if you push down on it. All right, there we go. And there we go. We're going to try for 4 passes again. Let's test to be sure that we're still operating. Yep. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're coming across that, which will help hold that in place. It's okay if you need to readjust. These things stay pretty sticky. Even me touching it is not really messing it up. Not always the case. Sometimes it does not like to work after touching human hands because of the oils and whatnot. Alright, let's do our test just to be sure we're still good. Yep. Now I wonder if maybe I messed it up last time and that's why it didn't work. It's possible that maybe I bent a wire a little bit too much. These things are pretty forgiving, but if something in one of these lines inside of the plastic break, it will stop functioning. It's a little bit more complicated than changing a bulb out on your Christmas lights, like I'm sure we all remember doing for the age of LEDs. Almost think we've lost a little bit of a Christmas tradition once kind of LEDs took over. Oh, I think we're going to get one more loop. Let's hope anyway. There we go. There we go. When we get around here, we're going to do our test one more time. Yep, looks like we're still good. Looks like I came off just a little bit from the last time where we ended up. But here we go. I'm going to do my best not to have to cut this. Stuck on itself. All right. One more test. Just to be sure we're good. Yep. Looks good. Okay. So now we're going to do the exact same thing we did last time. This time we'll unplug. We're going to plug this guy in. Yeah, it's alright. Setbacks like this happen. It's how you handle them. This comes through here like this. Oh, what I was saying earlier was, in Orca, you can do a negative space. So I took that and made a negative rectangle here and a negative couple of holes here to allow for this to hang. So let's show what it looks like. See our handiwork in action. Oh, no. Hmm. Well, maybe that is what I get for. All right, there's that. Let's start taking some lights off and put this on a smooth setting. Oh, goodness. There it is. I may have to tape that in place, or maybe have to resolder some connections if it's gonna be temperamental like this. Um, Something to be said about spending a little bit extra. Yeah, these are $5 strip lights, so I'm not super disappointed, but I do wish that it would have worked a little bit better. Yeah, I think it's the connections are just not great. Let me try my other battery here. Well, I guess it could have been the battery, because that seems to work okay. Yeah, that looks really good. So that one's fade. And then you can kind of just pick the one that you like the best. I kind of like this one because this is the kind of the color of my little mascot that I have in our channel's logo. But I do like the fact that you can kind of move around. Well, since you've been on this long, I'll show you another one that I've been messing around with. So I messed with ChatGPT to help me create this one. What's cool about this one is it comes with a stand. Looks much better once you turn the lights off. I'm a little bit of a fan of Yetis and Bigfoots and all the cool stuff, so oh, there we go. I kind of like the yellow when that one comes up. But so the reason that you put them on the far like that is you can see kind of the lights here and here and here because there's not really a diffuser. But if you put them on the back, you're just going to end up with little dots all over the place versus being able to see the image lit up as it is. That one's my favorite. Let's see if we can. That one's pretty cool. That one's cool. Now that one right there. That one's my favorite. But as far as I know, I'm delightful. Made me chuckle, so I went ahead and printed it up. The Makerworld has been such a boon to some of the things that I do. I am going to be putting a video out on how to do some of these creations yourself. Specifically how to use ChatGPT and how to use ChatGPT to get a character. Like if you want to create a character, how would you do that? Well, I'm going to put a video out to show you how to do that. But thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. And until next time, I'll be printing.